JWise is back with another reaction video. Let's get into it.
Poverty is pushing kids down the wrong path, with the current cost of living crisis making matters worse than ever. Children as young as 11 are joining gangs to make money. For some, it's to help put food on the table while their parents turn a blind eye.
Is that how broke you are as a parent? Is that how pathetic you are as a parent? Your little child, your little pitney, your little teenager is able to even bring any sort of money to the table that's relevant. Like, they shouldn't need, God forbid, I'm a big Ras Clark man and I've got children and that, and my son has to go out and fucking sell drugs to provide food on the table that I'm supposed to be providing for. Like,
The voices of the young people we've spoken to have been changed to protect their safety.
If he's got no food on the table and is providing for himself and his family, I can't blame him for that.
I went to Manchester to meet this 17-year-old. At the age of just 14, he became the breadwinner for his family.
That's ridiculous.
By selling Class A drugs.
It was you and your friends, and you were 14, and you sold weed. Then how did that progress and escalate?
The weed wasn't making that much money, so I had to sell other stuff, such as crack, cocaine, heroin, other stuff.
At what ages was that happening?
It was happening at like the age of 14 to 15.
It's shocking. So young, drug dealing, walking the streets with a knife. But he felt he had no choice.
Blood. You start trapping at the age of 14, selling white, piff, brown, sniff, walking with a knife, blood, you're headed to one place and one place only. You're going to jail, blood. Because obviously, you have to think about it this way, yeah? That youth that's selling white, piff, brown, sniff, he ain't going to school, he ain't going to college, he ain't thinking about uni. All he knows is road. So he ain't gonna have no future. His future is either in a pack, 6 foot under, or behind bars, blood. And if he did decide to change his life around and think, you know what, yeah, forget about the drug thing and you get me, forget about the road thing and I'm gonna jump on the straight and narrow and I'm gonna do the legit thing. He has no qualifications, blood. So what's gonna happen is he's gonna get some dead job working as a postman or something. And he's going to think to himself like, blood, I'm making 1,300 a month. I've got to be here at this time. My boss is telling me to go here, go there. I've got a man that can phone me and ask me this and ask me that. And you get me? Chat to me certain ways that I don't really like to be spoken to or whatever. But you get me, man, I have to bite my tongue and that. I'm earning £1,300 for the month. Blood, I'll make this in a day. I'll make this in half a day in OT trapping, blood. What's going to happen is a man will go and work as a postman or lorry driver and that. I think, you know, fuck it, fam. Relapse. Once you're accustomed to a certain lifestyle and that, it's going to be very difficult to downgrade. Imagine like these girls that do OnlyFans and they're earning 10 grand a month. Imagine their OnlyFans thing stops for whatever reason and they have to go back to work in a job that's paying them 1,500, 2 grand a month. They're going to be vexed. They're going to be disappointed. They're going to be depressed. Depression is not real, but they're going to feel depressed. Like, oh, fuck, man. I'm working this dead-end job and that. Imagine you're used to dealing with 10 out of 10 Instagram models since we're talking about gyal. And then you have to start dealing with 5 out of 10 gyal. You're going to think to yourself, blood, nah, man, I need to find myself something better, man. This is a downgrade. Or imagine a gyal that's used to dealing with man who, get me, drive Mercedes and have nice car. They all go out on these trips and that, all these plush, nice restaurants and that, and then have to go and deal with a man that's got a Honda Civic, blood. Yeah, that ain't going to take you no restaurant. So you're going to want to break away and find a new man, you get me?
That's to be the man of the house. Like, I don't have an older brother to protect me. I don't have a younger brother to protect me. I don't have no one. I've got 2 little siblings which I have to protect, no one else. My family is never at home. So I grew up quick, make money for them, provide for my family. That's how it works.
Would your parents ever ask you about the money that was coming in or the things you were able to buy for them and your siblings?
I used to tell them it was legit. I used to tell them I got a job.
What job did you tell them?
Just tell them I had a job round the corner shop, that's it.
With living costs surging, he says more young people than ever are taking the same path he did.
Living's gone up. To even live in this country is expensive.
That is a bullshit excuse for youths on road trapping, selling drugs. So what happened to all the youths that have been selling drugs over the last 40, 50 years in this country? Was it because the cost of living is bullshit? It's just an excuse, man. Cost of living is always going to go up. Yeah, it's not an excuse to start selling drugs, man. Anyone that buy that bullshit, you're a pussy, man.
So what is there for them to do? Sell drugs, make money quick, without waiting.
But quick decisions have lasting consequences. A few weeks before filming, his friend was stabbed to death in front of him.
I want to talk to you about some murder case. Have you ever heard of a guy called...
What did I just say? You're either going to end up in jail or you're going to be in a pack 6 foot under, blood. Brethren got stabbed up in front of him.
No, I don't think so. When was he killed?
He says he's fine, but how could he be? The person who helped him change his life was Matthew Norford, a youth worker from Manchester.
And just give him some self-motivation skills.
I've come to meet him because he says the forgotten victims of this crisis are children already living in poverty.
Why the fuck? Like, oh my days, fam. This is so dumb, blood. Anyone that knows that area and is familiar with that area is going to know where this youth worker lives now. They're going to know that road. They're going to know the fucking brown door. They're going to be able to clock where my man lives, blood. Why did they have to show him knocking on the man's door? Why didn't they just show him just walking along the balcony or along a fucking street or outside a chicken and chip shop? This is just stupidness. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, you baited out where the fuck, like, me, obviously, people, I've made videos where, like, it's outside the front of my house, you can see my front door, but not my fucking road. Anyone that knows my area, now, they're gonna fucking know. Because trust me, I had some pussy-os come underneath the comment section of my video, the Northampton one, saying, oh, he lives in this area, and they're correct. I do live there. Talking about, yeah, that man try to threaten, man, you know, oh, yeah, when we see you gonna do this, I don't remove no comments, you can go and check them out yourself, innit, yeah? So, oh, yeah, when you see you're going to do this, oh, he lives this area. Yeah, cool. When I see you swing first, come and smack you up, blood. But man, threatening, man, blood. But at the same time, I still ain't going to be baiting out my address, blood. But man, going to do this and do that. Swing first. Yeah, don't even talk, blood. Can't talk, fam. Swing first.
They don't want to have no heating on. They don't want to go to school and be bullied because they've not got the latest clothes or just normal clothes. You know, they don't want to hear the mum crying, the little sister, when it's a birthday and there's no food and they're going to a food bank. And we have a lot of families now that are on food bank and a lot of families where it's, you talk to them, they're not getting a birthday cake and they tell you because I know my mum's got no money and I hear my mum cry. That breaks my heart. No kid should be living like that or having to go to school just to get fed. Some of the reasons what made me sell drugs because we were living in poverty. And who did I talk to? You tell me who did it.
I swear to God. All youth workers are from that lifestyle, you know. It's like literally like, and I feel like a lot of youth workers, they're man that can't fully leave the street. Like they love it so much that like, all right, cool, I'm too old to still be keeping up badness on the roads. So you know what, I'm gonna work with the young people and that. But it's like, you are not the type of person that the young people need to aspire to be like, bro. But it's a hard balance in that, because if you find, and we can just keep it within the black community and that. If the young people was to speak to a black man who's a doctor and that, they're not even going to want to hear what a man's saying, because it's like, yeah, you're a black man, but you're a doctor, you speak well, so you're not from the same background as man. Yeah, you share the same pigmentation. Yeah, you're even from the same country as man, innit? But me and you, you're not from the same background as man. You don't speak the same language as man. Whereas a man that he can resonate with is a man from the street and that, but you're not to aspire to be like. So the perfect balance is a man like Jay Wise, isn't it? But get me, not everyone can be like, man.
Talk to you.
I don't know.
There's no one to talk to, someone like me, but I can't reach hundreds of thousands of kids that it's happened to every year.
What are you talking about, blood? You can jump on YouTube and make a channel, blood. What are you talking about, blood?
Concerns not just being felt in Manchester, but the West Midlands too. Here, the Assistant Police and Crime Commissioner has written to the government, asking them to intervene.
Sometimes you have a household where parent or parents are working 2 jobs just so that can keep up with the rent or food to put food on the table. And that can leave children and young people vulnerable to being exploited by adults who see that they're left alone and want to pull them into their way of life.
These children are desperate. Listen to this ex-gang member from Birmingham. He's barely out of school. This crisis is making basic necessities, like washing, too expensive to afford.
You mentioned the kettle baths and a bit of those sorts of things.
Yeah, when the heating went out, having kettle baths, it would be like for 4 hours you're trying to fill up the bath.
That is the worst dummy voice or whatever voiceover. That youth there does not sound like that, blood. Like, come on, man. I even heard the youth talking just before they went on to this season that the man don't sound nothing like that. This guy sound like he should be in uni, blood. Or friends with Prince Harry or something.
The kettle, and it's not all.
You know, we have to take baths with the kettle, and you know, I keep my Rambo knife close to the bathtub, and just in case there's any intruders in the property.
All the way full up and stuff like that. By the time you get in the bath, the water is probably cold, and plus there was no heating, so then it wasn't really an ideal situation for anyone.
And then I got goosebumps, and it made me feel very uncomfortable.
He has now found the help he needs to stay off the streets. Others he knows are not so lucky.
You mentioned a teenager who got stabbed in the back quite recently. What happened there?
They're trying to do the same thing that everyone.
This guy look like. Do you remember the Nutty Professor when Dave Chappelle played that guy Reggie Warren or whatever, the stand-up comedian, and he was like, what's he saying, like, your mum's so fat, she need a boomerang to put the belt on or whatever, innit? He reminds me of Reggie Warren and Dave Chappelle.
Is doing, trying to make a sale. The sale went left and he ended up with stab wounds, literally just for weed. When, like, it's not that important. Like, you could be making legal money or nice money in a professional environment and learning how to carry yourself professionally. You almost lost your life over a bag of weed.
And then move them feet, and then move them feet, good boy.
This boxing club teaches more than just sport. Discipline, dedication, and the desire to change for the better. It's a place for young people to go, no matter how desperate they are. Sessions cost £1, but the fee is waived regularly.
I've been a firefighter for 27 and a half years. I've saved more lives in this boxing club than I've ever done carrying out of a burning building. This place genuinely is saving lives. It's saving their lives. Again, listen, out there in the manor, it's a life and death situation. They have to make a split-second decision in some circumstances. So, and it's a junction where they go left or right.
Training here gives Abdul routine and purpose, but he knows people who have taken a different path.
It's easier said than done to lead it. Obviously, you can't just walk out of it. But I'd say, you know what I'm saying, try your best to slowly make your way out of it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you lead that way your whole life, you're going to end up in prison or, you know, dead on the street, like in Mossad or something.
What fucking country is he from?
Imagine you have to look after them and then you lost your job and anything, and you come to, like, bills are coming in, you had no money for food. Real talk, what would you do? Are you going to look at your little sister starve, or if someone offered you, you know, you could go to Mama and get some bud and move it? What are you going to do?
Every person I've spoken to says gang life never ends well. We're on the way to Matthew's brother Gary's graveside. He was in a gang when he was stabbed to death trying to steal drugs. The kind of choices young people are making now, more than ever, for quick cash.
Told you a lot about them stories where man go out on moves and they get rubbed out. Like I said, some youth that man was not on good terms with, let's say, got rubbed out on a move, tried to run up on some Polish people, bam, one chest shot, one done in a pack. Next youth that I know, someone that man's cool with, he went to go on a move, tried to rob someone, he got stabbed, gone. That's the way it is, blood.
He's the guy that when I was young and I'm emotional, I'm crying, he put his arm around me He bought me trainers when he used to go basketball, and my toe was showing here by my trainers. So he sold drugs for his family.
How worried are you that more people will end up dead based on the pressures that the last few months have put on them and their families?
Loads. Kids are getting groomed at an exceptional rate. They're getting exploited. And like I'm saying, some parents know what's going on, and they either can't stop it, they don't know where to turn, and in some cases, they're allowing it because that kid's bringing in the income for that household.
One crisis is causing another, with children in poverty breaking the law to try and survive. They need a way out. Shingi Marike, Sky News.
Boy, I mean, that's enough bullshit for 7.5 minutes, man. Like, listen, I'm out, man. Done now.